Hello friends, I'm coming on here today. We're going to actually work with two different sets today. The homemade treats and the gingerbread man. They kind of go together. They're both about baking and stuff like that. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to start with the homemade treats set. So we are going to make this card right here. Okay. And it is not the traditional red and green. I'm using pink this time. We are using the strawberry slush set. So let me get this stuff out of the way here. And I will have the dimensions in our notes on the video of what size papers to use and everything. So this is strawberry slush. Our card base, we're going to cut that in half. Okay, and we are going to, let me get some scrap paper here. I'm going to do all my stamping first. So we are going to stamp a icing bag. And this you just use some scrap paper for. I'm also, while I've got the pink out, we are going to stamp. It's beginning to taste a lot like Christmas. So we're going to put that right at the top. And that's that piece. And then for the inside piece, we have 'Tis the Season for Baking. So we're going to put that on the inside. Okay. Then I think we're done with this color. So let me sit that down here. Then we're going to use pecan pie and we're going to do some gingerbread man. I'm going to do one for the inside. There we go. We'll set that up there. Bring our scrap paper out. We'll need 3 gingerbread man. So 1, 2, and 3. And I believe that's it for pecan pie. So then we're going to go with the shaded spruce. And we're going to do a oven mitt. We're going to put that there. And then we're going to use crumb cake. And we're going to do, I spaced it out too much. And we're going to do the rolling pin. There we go. So I believe that is all of our stamping. And then we're going to die cut these out, but I'm not going to bore you with that. So I did that already. And we also need to die cut out a cookie sheet, and that's all in the set with the homemade treats. So you get all of these dies. And it's nice because they give you 2 gingerbread men, 2 hat, and 2 candy canes. So you can die cut multiples at the same time. Okay. So let me clean my stamps off real quick so they don't get them messed up with anything. And I'm using my chamois that just needs rinsed off. Okay, so let's get these all out of the way. I'm gonna sit these down here. There we go. Okay, now I think we're ready to assemble. So we are going to put our inside piece in first. Oops. Make sure you put it in the right way. Okay. And then we're going to, I think I left my other one of these out in the living room. We'll see if I run out or not. I'm going to put that right in the middle, just like that. And then we're going to put these right like that. All right. So now we're going to glue down our cookie sheet. And we're going to put that at a little bit of an angle. And then we're going to glue our little gingerbread man down. Okay. So one goes here, one goes down here, and one goes right there. And then we're going to glue our rolling pin down. So he's going to go about right there. And then we're going to pop these two pieces up. So we'll get our dimensionals, pop them on here. There we go. And pull all the stickers off. And we're going to put the icing bag right there. And we're going to put our glove right there. And then we got the peppermint, real red and white adhesive back peppermints. So we're going to put one here, one up here, and a small one right there. All right, so there's that one. All right, we're going to move on to number 2, but just give me a sec. I got to run and get the other. Okay. All right, sorry about that, guys. I knew I was going to run out soon, so I wanted to get this other one. So there's our first card. All right, our second card is going to be a gift card holder. And we're going to do this one right here. So we have pool party. Like I said, dimensions are going to be in the description, so you can look for them there. So we're going to fold our score lines. Okay. Actually, let's do our stamping first. Okay. So we are going to stamp in red, sugar and spice and everything nice. So let's get that up here. And you're going to want to make sure you put it over close to this edge right here, so that you can fit your gumdrops on. I don't think I got my gumdrops out. So we're going to dig out our gumdrops. And then as you can see, there's dies for everything. And that also includes the big gingerbread man die right here. Okay, so you're going to want to use some scraps again. We're going to do 3 different colors. We got real red, and then we're going to want to clean our stamp, and then we're going to make a mess. We're going to do some pretty in pink. And then we got to clean it again. And then we're going to do some pool party. And there you go. And once more, we got to clean this off. All right. And one good thing about this, the 2 different size gumdrops is one stamp, but then the dies will line up. And you have 2 sets of dies for those too. So that's cool. Okay. So we're going to put that aside because I already did that part. All right, I think that's it for stamping other than our gingerbread man. So let's do our gingerbread man. So if you've never looked at embossing, we're going to do some embossing, some heat embossing. So the first thing we're going to do is you're going to use this embossing buddy, and it kind of just puts a little powder down on your paper, and that way that you won't get embossing powder to stick where you don't want it to stick. So we are going to, and then we're going to use our Versamark, and we're going to stamp up our gingerbread man. Okay. And then we're going to stamp him on. Okay. And actually, we're making a gingerbread girl this time. So we're going to set that aside. We're going to put some hair on our little gingerbread girl. So we're going to put that up here at the top. And then we're going to do her eyes and her mouth. So we're going to do that right there. Okay. So we're going to set that aside. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the embossing powder on. So I got some white embossing powder in here. I just find it's easier to use a bigger container and just run it down over, tap it off, and then we're going to do the same thing again just to make sure we get it all. And we're going to tap it off. Okay. So now we're going to watch the magic. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little loud because my heat gun is going to be a little loud. But I'm going to try to show you. So see how it's kind of dull and powdery? As you add heat to it, it's going to start melting. As you can see, it's starting to melt. So we're going to run over all of that. Until it's all melted. Oops, we forgot the eye. There we go. Now we got our little gingerbread girl. All right, so I didn't think this through. We're going to have to die cut her out. So I'm going to do that off camera real quick. But just to show you that this comes as a 2-pack like this, it's so you can fold her in half and make like a little ornament or whatever. But for this particular one, we want this side to be where we're going to cover it up. So we're going to put it in through like that. So give me one quick second here. I'm going to run this through the die cutter. This is not a Stampin' Up! One. I apologize. We do have a manual one. I just didn't want to jump back up again and grab it. All right, so we took the die off, and there is our piece. Now let me get this stuff out of the way again. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fussy cut this little bit off on the side here. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't look the greatest because we are going to cover this arm up. Okay. So then the next thing we're going to do is we got to cut his legs off a little bit. So what I'm going to do is just use my small trimmer because, of course, I left my other one out in the living room. So we're going to try to eyeball this. So it's probably about 3 1/4 is where we're cutting. And then you can just get rid of that if you want to. Let me just make sure that it's going to fit. Yes, okay. All right, so now, whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to shake you guys. So now we're going to start assembling. So we're going to fold this. This is our inside that does the gift cards. We're going to fold that side up and this side down so that it looks kind of like this from the side. Okay. And then what we want to do is we're going to glue our piece of white down. And then what I actually did was I added a couple of the gumdrops. So let me see if I can dig out 3 different colored gumdrops here. There we go. And we'll just put a little bit of glue on the back of them. If I can get it. Might want to come up a little bit. There we go. Yeah. So sometimes if it's a really small piece, I'll just kind of hold it like that to get the glue. And you can always use the Tombow green glue too. I'm just not a fan of it. All right, so we got that. So next we're going to use a piece of tear and tape. Or you can use glue, it's up to you. I'm going to put a piece of tear and tape right here. Okay. And then we're going to peel that off. And we're going to bring this piece in. And we are going to put this edge on this crease. So what I like to do, and try to center it evenly between right and left. So we're going to just do it like this. And then we're going to push this down. And then as you see, that's going to make the mechanism. So let's go ahead and finish decorating. So this is from the Traditions of Christmas Designer Series paper. And I'm going to put a piece with the red side. Oops. We're going to put that up here. And then we're going to put our blue piece down here. And then we have to see if I can use tear and tape. I forgot to bring my glue back. I'm not very prepared for this one, but we'll get through it. So we're going to just, you want to make sure you stay real close to the edge. I'm actually even going to go a little off the edge, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. A little off the edge. There we go. And then we'll pull the tape off. And then I'm just going to push this over like this so that it's on there. Glue will work just as well. I just left my glue out in the living room too. There we go. Okay. Now, with this down, we're going to push this down. And we're going to push down real hard to get that. And there you go. It should slide. You put your gift card in there. And once again, I don't have a gift card, so I'll use my ASRT card just to show you. Just pops in there like that. And there you go. So there's the inside. So now we're going to take our stamped sentiment, and we are going to glue this down. Okay. And then we'll glue our gumdrops. So we'll go ahead and get some glue on these. There we go. Okay, so there's that. Now we're going to glue our gingerbread lady down. And we're going to put her right on the edge of the red. There we go. And I might have, there it is. We might have to use this silicone mat to glue some of these pieces together. We are going to use the miniature dimensionals for her bow. So we're going to pop them off. And we're going to stick that right there. And then we have to glue our candy canes together. So these were die cut out also. Basic white, pool party, pretty in pink, and basic white again. So we got to put these together. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue here. And you're going to put them on top of each other. There we go. And then we're going to do the same thing with this to make a little peppermint swirl. Oh, and don't do that and rip it off, but we can fix it. Don't worry about it. We can fix it. So we'll just put these 3 pieces on just like that. Make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. And then we're just going to lay this piece. You know, because candy doesn't always come in one piece. And you can't even tell. See? Perfect. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we are going to use our miniature dimensionals again for the candy cane. And we can actually use the regular ones for this. Okay, so let's peel these off. So if you like my samples that I'm making, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Once I get enough people to subscribe, I can actually go live. And then you can really see me mess up. Just kidding. All right, so the next thing we're going to use is the Faceted Snowflakes gems. You can use whatever gem you want to use, whatever you have in your stack. And we're going to put some little buttons on her. And then we're going to use a tiny one and put that in her bow. And there you have it. So there, and you know what I forgot to do? I might be able to fix it. I'm going to try to pop this out. I forgot to put a little notch so that they can see the card, and I guess they call it like a finger notch. So I just used 1 7/8 punch, but you can use whatever you have on stock. And then we're going to just bend it up a little bit. Now we got it good. There you go. So there is our second card. So we are going to do one more. Oh, what's over here? Okay. All right. So our last card we're doing today is going to make another gingerbread man. So this time we are going to use Crumb Cake for our base card. We are going to use 2 pieces of basic white, one for the inside, one for the outside. The Traditions of Christmas designer papers. And this is our gingerbread man. I actually already did him because I just showed you in the previous card how to do it. And I didn't think you wanted to listen to the loud noise again. And I just trimmed his hand down a little bit too. So just kind of fussy cut it. So what we are going to do is, I didn't think I needed something on the outside. You can if you want. I didn't. And then we're just going to stamp sugar and spice on the inside. So let's get that taken care of first. Oops, I'm losing stuff. All right. So we're going to do sugar and spice on the inside. And that should be it for our stamping. Let's let that dry for a second. I'm going to glue this piece down. Oh, there I ran out. Glad I went and grabbed it. Now what do I do with it? Here it is. Okay. All right, so we are going to line that up right close to the edge of our white. Now we're going to glue our inside piece together. Okay. We're going to glue our front piece on. Oops. And then, oops, make sure we put it on the right side. Glue that piece on. Then we're going to take our snowman. He could be a snowman. You could do it in white. But we're going to do our gingerbread man. And we are going to glue him down flat also. And I'm going to put him at a little bit of an angle, you know, because it's cute. And then we got our, this is real red, and we die cut it out a hat and a scarf. So we're going to put our dimensionals on these. And maybe use a couple of the minis for the edges here so that everything glues down. And then we're going to pop these off. Okay, and we're going to put that scarf around his neck. And then we're going to put his hat on his head. Now for this gingerbread man, I used a different face, and I embossed the 2 dots on there for his chest. I did not use gems for them. But I am going to go back to my faceted snowflakes. This time I'm just going to use the clear, the white ones. And we're just going to throw a couple of gems on here. Like I said, if you don't have these, you can use whatever you have in stock. And there you have your 3rd card. All right, so let's pull them all out here so you can see them again. We have our 2 gingerbread and our, what's it called again? Homemade treats. So there are the 3 cards we made this week. I hope that you like them. And once again, please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to try to keep doing these. I might not be weekly here for the next couple of months in November and December because I'm doing a lot of craft shows and classes and stuff. But once that slows down, then I'll be back to doing more cards on a weekly basis. So I hope you have a great day. Bye.